You're welcome to today's class. You're welcome, Anita. You're welcome, G, and Savior Sylvester. So I want to know that you are in class. This is how I can take my attendance. So, and we are going to Python programming language fully today. And this programming language we are talking about, we are going to work with Google Colab. And Google Colab is some of the tools we are going to use. Some of the tools we on our previous class, in the introductory class, we talk about some of the tools, but this is Google Colab. And I want you to know that you guys should be flowing with me. Always rehearse to what I said and all. And whenever I say a word, try to comment and all so that we are will be on the same space. So Google Colab is an online environment produced by Google, and it's easy for us and it make it simple for us to use. So whenever we want to go through our notebook, anywhere, anytime you can access it. This is the simplicity of Google Colab, which Google have already created for us. As a programmer, we should learn on how to use it. We should learn on how to use it. It's more important. Everything you are working on will be stored on your Google Drive. So let's open in let's open let me share my screen now. So Google Colab. So I'm sharing my screen to Google Colab now. So we have to see this is the first page of Google Colab. When you open it, it will pop out. You will see the example, the recent, the Google Drive, the GitHub, and upload. This is the first page, and we see the title, the welcome, and all. We see so many things, and this is a work I've done with my previous student, in which I have to create a new class, a new notebook. I'll create a new notebook and name it Python class. I have to name it as Python class. So we are going to name it Python class, and this is file. File contain on a taskbar is also similar to some other environments which Anita and Sylvester and some of you said that you have worked with an IDE environment. This is similar to the taskbar are also similar with this. You on your spreadsheet you also have file and not, but this is the location of in Drive and open background and all. This is the content in the file, and edit you see the select or and the cut, or these are the edit of the taskbar. We have the view, the table of content, insert, you see. So I just want you guys to play with it, and when we time go on, we see on how we can use on this table of contents. You have the final replace, the variable. This is what you will know at the end of the class, mostly at the end of the class, but as time goes on, you will see more of it. So I want you to know that Python has uh, uh, tags, two command, which is code and text. And I want you to know that when you are writing your project, you always write with your text and code so that a non-programmer will be able to understand what you are writing. So the code and your text, the text explain your code to your audience. Hope you understand. Okay. And I want you to know that In Google Colab, Google created a memory space for us which we can access, unlike we using our normal offline IDE. The normal offline IDE can be when we are working with large number of code can be slow because of the less storage and all. But Google has make it easy for us to, when we want to write a code, it will create a space for us. Look at it. You see the connect Python 3 Google computing engine backend, and you see the RAM, you see the disk, you see the RAM of 1.28 gig. This is the space which Google has created for it. And you see the down, you see connected to this backend environment. This is why Google Colab is more important. So that when we are writing much code, your work will not be slow and all. It is very important to make use of it. Please make use of it. Make use of your Google Colab. Okay. And now let's look on keywords. Okay, a keyword are reserved word in Python and can't be used as an identifier. And first of all, when we want to write it, when we want to write a keyword, we have to import them. We use the import, and the key. We are going to look on the keys which we are going to use the method KWList attached to the key. It will print out all the keyword, and the keyword these are reserved word. Okay, for example, you have close Anita, and you share, or you also have a roommate which you share your clothes with, and there's a clothes which you keep mailing on yours, which is reserved to you. Okay, and see the same way Python reserve their own keys which no one can use. So these are all the keyword, these are all the keyword which I have displaying for us to see. These are all the keyword. So we want to check on the length. We check on the length and you see dot key kw list and all. And when we check on the length, this is a function called length, which at the end we are not going to deal on the function now, no, on the class, no, at the end of it, because um the function is the last part of our Python programming. Okay, Anita, and okay. So we see 35. When we print out the length, it will show us 35 because this is all the 35 reserved key. Then we are going to look the difference between identifier. So let me search for the different. A minute, please. So let me share my screen to that. So I'm sharing my screen there to that. Okay, and okay, we said in programming, an identifier is a name given to a variable, function, class, or other programming element, while a variable is a storage location and can hold data with a specific data type. So I want to let you know that a variable and identifier. An identifier is just to identify a naming of a variable, while a variable store or hold value. Is a storage, our normal storage, okay, to hold a value which is used to hold value. Okay, now let me um search for the rules for naming variable. Okay, let's say rules rules for naming variable. Okay, we are going to look for the rules for naming variable now. Okay, in Python basic. Variable name must start with a letter, contain letter, number, and underscore, and cannot be basic. Okay, here are some more details. This is the rules, so let me expand it for us. Okay, let me expand it for us to see. Let me share the screen. I will not share my screen though. Now, this is the difference between rules for naming variable. I'm sorry for that. Okay, this is the rules for naming a variable, and we said in basic a variable name must start with a letter and contain letter, number, and underscore, and cannot be a basic keyword. Here are some more details. Okay, and let me expand it for us to see. Now say it starts with a letter. Variable must begin, okay, must begin with a letter A to Z and A to Z. Do not okay, allows characters. First, the letter in variable do not allow space. So if you must use space, if you must use underscore to replace the space, okay? And case sensitive, when we talk about case sensitive is like when we are writing a variable, okay, name, and we use a capital letter in naming the variable, and when we want to call it, we call it with small letter, it will show an error. It will show an error. So when we get to that play area, we are going to know about it. Now we say a keyword. A keyword in Python avoids some keyword like if, then, for, next, let. These are keyword which system reserve from themselves. Okay, we talk about string in basics. Okay, string like our dollar sign and naira sign, these are not allowed. It's not allowed in naming a variable. So let me share back to my screen. Let me share back. Okay, and let's go back to what I was doing before. So now we are going to know what is identifier. An identifier is a name given to an entity like class, function, variable, etc. It helps to differentiate between one entity from another. Okay, it helps to, I just explained earlier before, so it helps to differentiate between one entity to another. Okay, you have to differentiate. I know Anita asked a question, Abi. Yes, Anita asked a question. So it helps to differentiate. Okay, they are almost similar. They have the same rules. They have the same rules. Okay, so and let's create a simple variable and let's see some of our errors when we checking for our variable naming rules. So we saw some errors or some things which the comment said that number is not allowed at the beginning. So this is an example. When we write a variable called var1, var1, and assign 10 to it, it will not run. It will tell us invalid decimal literal. This because of the one at the beginning. The one at the beginning will not run. make it run. It will show us an error. Okay, so let's write another one. Let us add at. It's a special symbol. It's a special symbol attached to a variable name like this and assigned to 35. It will produce that the name var2 is not defined. The name var2 is not defined because of the special character. So Python do not accept special characters. Do not accept special characters. I want you to know that when we are working with programming language like this, we must be careful and also avoid some of these rules, because when we do not avoid it, we will always get an error. Okay, we will always get an error, and we are going to we are going to we are going to look on some of the keywords. When we use keyword to declare a variable, when I run it, it will show us invalid syntax because we use a keyword, and which the system do not require the keyword, because it's a reserved word for him alone, or is required for the system alone. Okay, which is required for the system alone. Okay, so let's go further and further. Okay, and we are going to see the right way to name a variable. We we use sum underscore name. This is the right way. When you saw underscore variable name, it will run. When I run it, it will run because it's so good. Then when I use var underscore, it will run because this is the right way. When I use this var, it will run. But I want you to know that when I attach one to it, okay, now let me create a new tab, and let me call this one var and attach 12 to it, and assign it to a variable like this, and run it. When I run it, okay, when I run it, it will run because it's the right way, because there's no special character. So, and this, now you see about case sensitivity. In Python, when you use a capital letter to start a variable, and when you want to call it using the print with a small letter, when you run it, it will print an error. It will print error, and which the error will say, let's wait for the system to process, please. Okay, the name var is not defined because the var you printed out is small letter, and what the system know is or recognize is the one with the capital letter. Okay, this is why it will produce an error for us. So, and so let's move on. So we want to talk about comments. Comment is used to explain code in Python, and it's used to explain code in Python. We have the single line comment and the double line comment. We use the hash to comment a word, or the string. You use the hash or the string. Please note, we use the hash or the string to comment a variable. So we have the single lines. This is a single line. This is a single line. And this is the multiple line, due to we break it down like this using the hash. This is the multiple line of code. So we want to check on statement. A statement is an instruction which can execute, okay. Now variable one, two, okay. This okay. This is a single line variable, and we said that a variable. We said that a statement has a multiple line statement and a single line statement. Okay, we said that it has a multiple and a single line statement. So now we want to check on the uh, multiple line. This is a single line statement, and this is the multiple line statement. And when we use it, when we had 20, 40 slash, then we'll come down and input 50, 80 plus slash. We imputed 90 plus 70. It will print the result for us. It will print 350 because the system recognize what you told it to do, to add everything together. When you add everything together, it will be 350. Okay, this is it. Let's write it in a single line. In a single line. And this is the single line. When we run it, it will tell us battery is 350. So still the same way, even when we use the single line and the multiple line, it will still produce uh, the same result. So okay, Anita, let's go to camel case and snake case. You said you have you have an idea, you know about it. Okay, you can share your screen. Okay, let me explain. Let me just explain. Okay, okay. So let me search for it. Okay, now I want to share it now. I want to share it. I want to share it. Okay, the snake case versus camel case. In Python programming, case use underscore to separate a word, a variable, while camel case is used to join a word without space and capitalize the first letter for each other. So I want to make you understand. I don't want to use what Anita have explained in the previous in our class, but I want to explain it to you so that you will be able to understand it very well. So a snake case uses replace a space with an underscore. When you want to name a variable, you can also use a snake case so that your code will look nice. Or if you don't want to use if you don't want to use snake case, you can use what we call the camel case. A camel case, and this is an example of a camel case when the small letter are using small letter and the big letter to combine them together. So this is an example of a camel case, and this is an example of a snake case. I believe you understand, and this is a Pascal case. I believe you understand this, and this is a summary of what we learned today. So, and know I want you to know what we just explained. We said in programming, a snake case uses underscore to separate a word, and e.g., let's say snake underscore case, while a camel case join word without spacing, capitalize the first letter for each other and all. And this is an example. And look at what I just explained. We talk about the Pascal, the snake, the camel, the snake, and the Pascal. And this is the example so far for you to know and try to make sure you use it in your code. It will help you a lot for organizing it. It will help you a lot to organize. Like also, now let's check on okay, indentation. Indentation. We are going to search on indentation. Indentation. What's the meaning of indentation? Okay, okay. I don't need this. Say the action of inducting or state of inducted. So I don't need this. So the meaning of indentation is the blank space produced by indenting. So this one did not give me. So I want to let you know that indentation is the breaking down. Okay, you have to break it down, then arrange it in a proper form, which will help you in organizing of code and all. So indentation is important in our code. On our next class, we deal on indentation. Okay, so good night and have a nice day from us. Okay, bye.